In his effort to help others grasp the depth of God's wisdom and care, a wise elder often shared this tale, a story both sobering and illuminating. Once an ascetic, burdened by the weight of injustice in the world, knelt in fervent prayer. His voice, hoarse with longing, rose to heaven. "Lord, why do the righteous endure endless suffering, while the unrighteous thrive in comfort and wealth? How can this align with your justice?" A still, small voice responded, resonating with the ascetic's soul. "My judgments are beyond the reach of human understanding, unfathomable as the deepest abyss. Yet, because you seek to learn, go into the world and observe. Sit quietly and watch the events unfold before you. In them, you will find a glimpse of my wisdom and understand why my ways are just, though hidden." The ascetic, both humbled and curious, made his way to the edge of a bustling town. He chose a quiet meadow by a busy road, where a clear spring bubbled under the shade of an ancient tree. Concealing himself in the hollow of the tree, he waited. As the sun climbed the sky, a wealthy merchant appeared, riding a fine steed. Dressed in rich silks, he radiated power and prosperity. Stopping at the spring, he dismounted, drank deeply, and reclined on the grass to rest. Reaching into his robes, he pulled out a pouch and began to count its contents. 100 glittering gold coins. Satisfied, he returned the pouch to his robe. But as he rose to leave, it slipped unnoticed into the grass. Oblivious, the merchant mounted his horse and rode away, humming a carefree tune. A little later, a second traveler came, a man in tattered clothes with eyes that darted nervously. He stopped to drink from the spring and stumbled upon the pouch. Disbelief flashed across his face as he opened it and saw the gold. Clutching it tightly, he glanced around and then bolted into the fields. The meadow grew quiet again until a third traveler appeared. This man was frail and weary, carrying little more than a loaf of bread. He knelt by the spring, drank, and began his humble meal. Before long, the merchant returned, his face twisted with panic. "My gold," he shouted, searching the ground frantically. Spotting the poor man, he stormed over, fury blazing in his eyes. "You thief! Give me back my gold!" The poor man, startled and confused, stammered, "I've seen no gold, I swear it." But the merchant, consumed by rage, struck him down. Blow after blow fell until the poor man lay lifeless. Trembling, the merchant searched his victim's belongings and, finding no gold, stumbled away in despair, his heart heavy with guilt. The ascetic, watching from the tree, was horrified. Tears streamed down his face as he lifted his voice to the heavens. "Lord, how can this be your will? One man loses gold, another finds it, and an innocent man is murdered. Where is your justice?" As he wept, the air shimmered and an angel descended, radiant with divine light. "Do not grieve, faithful one," the angel said gently. "What you have witnessed is not as it seems. Listen, and I will reveal the truth behind these events." The angel of the Lord continued, "Of all the things you witnessed, some were by God's concession, others were for education, and others had providential reasons." The angel continued, "The merchant who lost the gold was no innocent victim. He had swindled the man who found the pouch, forcing him to sell his orchard for half its value. That man prayed to God for justice, and in his mercy, God returned to him twice what he had lost. The poor man who was slain was not as innocent as he appeared. Years ago, he had taken a life, but had since repented sincerely. He begged God to grant him a death that would atone for his sin. God, moved by his humility and remorse, allowed him to die as he had prayed, paying for his crime in the same manner he had inflicted on another. Now his soul rests in peace, crowned with glory for his repentance. As for the merchant, his love of gold had hardened his heart. By committing murder, he has been forced to confront the darkness within himself. This act, though grievous, will lead him to repentance. Stricken by guilt, he will abandon his wealth and seek redemption as a monk." The angel's voice softened. "Now tell me, where is the injustice in God's ways? There is more than what meets the eye. His wisdom weaves justice and mercy together, though mortals often see only threads of chaos. Trust in his judgments, for they are always righteous." The ascetic bowed low, his heart filled with awe and humility. "Just are you, O Lord," he whispered, "and straight are your judgments." If this story touched your heart, remember to like, subscribe, and share.